Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just back to do the vinyl tag for 2024. It's already been out there for 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks plus now. And yeah, I just finally got around to actually getting some answers together and getting some time to do it. So here is my reply to the 2024 vinyl tag. And of course, this is the one with Rob Walker, which is typically kind of the usually the initial one that comes out most years, it seems. And there's a bunch that kind of spawn in different directions, and I plan on doing a number of those too because they're all really kind of fun. But let's just kind of jump into this. So I'm going to use my little cursor here to make sure I keep track of where I'm supposed to be. So question number one, favorite record that you purchased in 2023? I'll try to keep this moving too. For me, it's going to be Josh Stone, Mind, Body, and Soul. One that I've been looking to get back in my collection for quite some time and finally stumbled across it and was able to actually kind of get rid of some stuff to grab this. So very, very awesome purchase. Kind of for those that maybe that don't know that album, definitely of like a very soulful R&B type of album. Maybe with a little bit of jazz vocal flavor in there, but a little more so on kind of like the soul side. But great, great album. Was very happy to get that one in 2023. Question number two, the last record you bought in 2023. And I actually got this at the In Groove out there in Phoenix. And it's this right here, which is Men at Work, Business as Usual. Nice little MoFi copy of that. But, again, classic album from 1982. Who Can It Be Now? Down Under. Just that classic 80s stuff. But that was the last album I bought in 2023. Question number three, a band or singer who released 2 or more albums in the same year. Few of those you could go with, but I decided to go with System of a Down. And they released both of these in 2005. So that's what I decided to go with on that. Especially, not especially, but and kind of one of the things that makes this album a little special for me is the first song I ever heard by them, my intro to System of a Down, was BYOB, which is on this album here. So yeah, both of those came out in 2005. Next question is, if you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose? And for me, actually pretty simple. I'm going right to the 80s. I mean, the 80s just seemed to be that one decade of just like the ultimate crossover between, all the new genres of music that were just kind of coming into play with like metal, hip hop, all that kind of stuff, plus the old traditional genres, just kind of, straight up rock and things of that nature, plus the new wave, just like a little bit of everything. So when I think about the 80s, I think about like the fact that it gives me things such as like, Cool Mo D, one of my absolute favorites from that time period. Ready for the World, just some of that awesome 80s R&B through both slow jams and kind of more upbeat dance stuff. Love that kind of stuff. But then in the 80s, you're also getting awesome soundtracks like Better Off Dead, Teen Wolf, Some Kind of Wonderful, all that great stuff. And then you also have your new wave stuff like Nina, things of that nature. Then just kind of straight up pop stuff, straight up pop rock stuff like Rod Stewart. Out of Order, one of my favorite albums by him, if not my favorite. And then of course the whole glam thing, Warrant, Wasp, Poison, on and on and on. And then of course thrash really making its name in the 80s as well, with Metallica and Slayer and, Overkill and just kind of on and on and on. So just, yeah, the 80s overall as a decade, if I was forced to stick inside of one, it would be hard not to want to do the 80s as much as you're missing with some of the other decades. So then question number 5, show a record by a band or singer from Manchester. I decided to go with Lisa Stansfield. And this is her album Affection from 1990. Always had the biggest crush on her. I thought she was totally awesome. She was totally cool as can be and still is. But yeah, so Lisa, I believe she was born in Manchester. So I hope that's the right answer, but I think she was. Question number 6, which band or singer did you listen to the most in 2023? That was an interesting one to think about, and I actually think it might have been Metallica. Maybe a close second right there with Bruce Springsteen and Jason Isbell, because the album Western Stars by Bruce Springsteen and Southeastern by Jason Isbell are albums that I listen to a lot and very frequently. But I think overall, between old school Metallica and how much I got into this album this past year, uh, that's I'm going to give the nod to. So we'll say Metallica for that one. Uh, Question number 7, show 7 7-inch records. So I just pulled a few out of my collection here. Um, you have In This Moment. Then this is obviously the picture disc. Prayers and what's on the other side of this? I almost forgetting. Oh yeah, Daddy's Fallen Angel. How can I forget? That's one of their best songs. So yeah, that's a cool picture disc I got off their website a number of years ago. I think they only did like 500 of them too. This or 600, and this is number 66 out of 600. And I was really glad that I grabbed that. Those things go for a pretty little penny now. But just kind of mixing up some of the different things that I have. Bobby Womack. I wish he didn't trust me so much. Again, kind of going back to some of his 80s phase of just some fantastic music there. Um, In the Dark by Billy Squier. Definitely probably my favorite single by him. I guess I'm not showing the back of these, but definitely my favorite single by Billy. I love that freaking song. Just such a perfect rock song. And then here you have The Cure, Let's Go to Bed. And this is a nice little white label promo of that, which is kind of cool. And then what's next here? Oh, Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. Kind of getting some of the glam stuff there. And what? Oh, Lita Ford, Kiss Me Deadly. Again, kind of going that nice glam period there. And the last one I'll show is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Do You Want to Touch? Another great one there. So that's what I have as far as 7 inches go, or 7 of my 7 inches to share. Question number 8. Who's coming to the party? You can choose 4 music-related people to come to an imaginary dinner party, past or present. Who would you invite? And we've had that question a number of times before, so I always try to kind of switch it up, from the last time I answered it. And so this time, I'm not sure how I came up with these people, but I thought this would just kind of be last time I thought about actually getting a chance to meet people, getting autographs and all that kind of stuff. I think this time I thought about it more so from just some individuals I would really love to sit down and just kind of pick their mind about where stuff came from and how stuff happened for them, and kind of really, really hearing the stories. So that was kind of my criteria for this one. So that would include David Bowie, someone that could definitely take you down quite the journey, I'm sure. And then Seal, one that there's always been a ton of questions I want to ask him about the creation of a lot of the music that he makes. And so that would be someone I would love to have that opportunity. And then I had to show this because not Shania Twain, but Mutt Lange, is who I would like to have at that dinner party. So you talk about someone who's been in the midst of making so much great music, and just the inside, information, point of view, and everything that he would have would just probably have your jaw on the ground for hours. So Mutt Lange would be the third. And then the fourth, here, my girl Tina. You talk about someone that went on quite the journey. It would be fantastic just to sit back and listen to her share the stories and all that great stuff. So those are the 4 I'm going to invite to the dinner party this year. Let's see. Next question, number 9. We lost them, so choose one musician who passed away in 2023. And I'm going to go with Tim Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive. I mean, of course, classic band. I mean, you guys know, the big hits like, Let It Ride, or, of course, Ain't Seen Nothing Yet being a gigantic hit. Then also other awesome stuff like, Flat Broke Love, and it's just a really, really great kind of rocking in your face kind of band. But yeah, we lost Tim in 2023, and I don't know if that really got a lot of, kind of pub out there, so to speak. But definitely want to kind of pay him a tribute, because he definitely left his mark on rock and roll. Let's see, question number 10. Imagine Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. Which country would you choose? I mean, I would probably have to go with the U.S. For kind of some of the same reasons that I mentioned, you know, about the '80s before too. I just think like, ultimately, if I look from start to finish, I mean, yeah, you have your British invasion and all of that, which was huge. British new wave of heavy metal and all of that. But it's like for the most part, if you only stuck with U.S. artists, you would still capture a great chunk of a lot of the different things that have happened in music over the years. Especially if you start going into like the blues and the jazz phase and all of that. So I'm gonna have to go with the U.S. on that one. Let's see. Question number 11. Name three vinyl community channels you discovered in 2023. Don't really have an answer for that one because that's not something I keep very present about, like who I met this year, who I met on whatever given year. It's just not something that I keep in the forefront of my mental Rolodex. So I don't really have an answer for that one, even though I know there's a lot of new channels that I sub to, which I have every year. But I can't specifically remember exactly when I've met who, so I kind of have to pass on that one. So sorry about that. Question number 12. Show a record you bought when you were a teenager. First one that came to mind was this one right here, which was MC Hammer, Let's Get It Started. It's just one that I remember when this first came out. Like, I really got into MC Hammer long before he became anything big. He had like basically one video that would pop up on BET every now and then for the song Pump It Up. But other than that, like none of this stuff had really hit anything big whatsoever. And I just got into him immediately and was just really kind of digging it. Then all of a sudden, you know, 6 months or whatever later, he just completely blows up. So that's one that always sticks out in my mind of kind of some of those happy teenage years. Um, Question number 13. Show a funk or soul record. Ton of those to choose from as well, but I'm going to go with Arthur Conley here, and this is Soul Directions. This is from 1968. You know, it says on here includes the big hit Funky Street, which is an okay song for me on the album, but to me, like the true jam on this one is You Really Know How to Hurt a Guy. That's just one of those classic old school heartfelt soul songs, and really, really love it. But if you're not familiar with that album, definitely a cool one to check out. I mean, that cover just kind of tells you everything right there. So there's a soul, funk and soul album for you. Number 14, show a record you think everyone has, then show a record you think nobody has. Everybody has Boston. I mean, SelfTitle, come on. That's, at least you should have it, or you probably shouldn't be allowed to have a record collection. Just joking, but at the same time, I mean, Boston SelfTitle is kind of just one of those ones that everyone has. Maybe not a white label promo, but everyone has a copy of Boston there. So that's the one I would pick for that. One that I would assume a lot of people don't have. I'd be curious, so definitely let me know in the comments down below. I dove in and pulled up Ursula here, Future Talk. This is her release from 1975. Kind of get a look at the back there. Sorry about the glare. I should have adjusted that light over there before I started the video. But this is kind of like a, Bobby McFerrin. You remember him from the 80s, the guy that kind of did all the, like, the noise type of things, like kind of used his voice as an instrument in a lot of cases. Basically, she does the same thing, just a little more maybe on like a jazzy side, kind of thing. But that's basically what she just, like a lot of weird noises and clicks and pops and all kinds of things. But I remember the first time I heard it, I just thought it was like really, really interesting, and I wanted to hear it again. And so I picked it up. But yeah, I'd be curious if how many people know her or own that album. So definitely let me know down below. Let's see. Question number 15. She's Great, a record by a female artist you bought in 2023. I think one of the biggest female artists I got into in 2023 was the one and only Laney Wilson. And this is Bell Bottom Country. So this is one that I bought in 2023. This is her 2022 release. But yeah, just a great, great country artist. I mean, just kind of young, spunky, positive, energetic, gorgeous, just like everything that you want in an artist, and fantastic music. Love her storytelling. A lot of great songs on this. One of my absolute favorites is Those Boots. One of my favorite songs off of this, but a lot of great stuff. But that's definitely a female artist I really gotten into uh, this past in 2023. Question number 16. The favorite video you posted in 2023 and your favorite video that you watched in the VC in 2023. Um, my favorite post every year is probably always my room tour video I do for the year, and my favorite one to watch is other people's room tour videos. As much as I like, new things that we pick up and all of that, there's something I just really connect to when I get a chance to dive into someone's world who is like, really, really engulfed in a passion. Matter of fact, it's kind of weird because it doesn't even have to be just necessarily music. Like, there's a lot of guys here on the VC that collect statues, like Marvel and DC statues and stuff like that. And I watch a ton of their videos. There's like a lot of people here in the VC who have like craft rooms and stuff like that. And I watch a ton of their videos, whenever I get a chance. And so it's not even about whether I'm into something, because I'm not into DC and Marvel or statues. I'm not into craft rooms, but it's just when someone just has like this room and this area that they've dedicated to something that they love so much, and you just see them in their passion, doing their passion thing. I love that. I absolutely love it. So the room tours are always my favorite videos to watch in the VC, and they're always kind of my favorite ones to do. So that's what I would say for that question. Question number 17. Show me a record you describe as a 90s classic. So many of those, but I decided to go with this one here, which is the Goo Goo Dolls, A Boy Named Goo. This came out in 1995, and I'm really kind of pulling this one is because I remember I was so into this album and this band at that time in the mid 90s. Had a chance to see them in concert a few times and all of that, but I don't know what it was, but I was just like obsessed with this album back in the 90s. So, and when you talk about an album that truly has a 90s sound to it, a 90s pop type of sound to it, I mean, it's like completely ingrained in everything on this album, with Long Ways Down, Naked, of course, the song Name, just a lot of great stuff on here. So that's one that I would say is, excuse me, it's a classic 90s album for me. Question number 18. If I could walk into the cover, um, look through the collection and choose a record cover you'd like to be a part of. So if you could be a part of a cover, which one would it be? This might be odd, but this is a cover that has always stood out to me. I say odd as in like nothing special to most people, but it's this one right here, which of course is Carole King's Tapestry. And I don't actually, I mean, I kind of know, but there's just something about this cover that just seems to completely capture the time of just that early 70s. Um, and I think it's just the fact that, like, number one, she's not all dressed up and dolled up for the shot. A pair of jeans, no shoes, no real makeup on. I mean, like, her hair looked like she just got up on a Saturday afternoon and brushed it and was just kind of sitting out. I like the wood and how dark it is in the background, because again, it just seems like, the 70s in a lot of ways, especially for more of kind of like the hippie singer-songwriter, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a big colorful thing like it was in the 80s, like with New Wave and the neon colors and all of that. Like, this feel just, there's something about this that just really, really captures what I think that the 70s would feel like. And I've just always wanted to, like, I would just love to be in that apartment and just hang out with her and just chat and, oh, John's coming over, and, just kind of like, I don't know, there's just something about that I've always wanted to feel that environment. So yeah, that's a cover I wouldn't mind kind of jumping into, and just one of those things, just kind of how stuff moves us. Number 19, it's like a greatest hit. Show a record you're so familiar with that it feels like a greatest hits. This is one I mentioned before that could probably be one that I could say I listened to the most in 2023. Jason Isbell, Southeastern. Exact same thing, in terms of just an album that has so many fantastic songs on it, and I've played it so much, and it never gets old and never loses its magic. So for some reason you aren't familiar with this came out in 2013. You definitely have to check it out. Just great storytelling, great emotions with songs like Cover Me Up, of course, Elephant, Different Days, Live Oak, um, Relatively Easy. I mean, just such great stuff on there. So definitely plays like the greatest hits to me. And question number 20, show me an album that was released in 1974. How about this bad boy right here, which is Rock Your Baby by George McCrae. If you talk about one of my absolute favorite songs, when you talk about If No One's Home and the song comes on and I just want to go to a magical grooving place of just dancing all by myself and not having a care in the world, Rock Your Baby is a song that does that for me. I mean, that song just has such a smooth, soulful, disco kind of groove to it, and oh, I absolutely love it. So that's 1970, my 1974 pick. So there you go, VC. Finally got around to doing this 2024 tag. Appreciate you guys watching, and as always, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.